Hi there, everyone. This is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe, and I am live to take your U.S. immigration questions. So if you have a question, go ahead and start putting your questions in the comments right away so I can start answering your questions. As you come in, as you put your questions in, I'm going to formally introduce myself. I'm U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe. I help clients to get their green cards and their status in the United States. So if you are thinking about the immigration process, you're going through the immigration process, I definitely know that you have questions. And so feel free to put those questions in the comments. If you want to learn more about me, the law firm, what I do, you can go to the link in my bio, and that will take you to the website where you'll get the contact information. You will be able to complete the contact form. That's providing us your name, your phone number, for us to contact you back. And you can read the biographic information about me, what I've done, and the practice areas. So feel free to go ahead and visit the website. Now, also, sometimes the phone lines get very busy, and if that's the case, you can always go to the website, complete one of our contact forms, and we will get in touch with you on the next business day. So keep that in mind. That may make it easier for you and more convenient for you. So go ahead, put your questions in the comments, and I will go ahead and answer your questions. So I usually come with a topic to talk about while your questions come in, but as soon as your questions come in, then I go ahead and stop talking in order to focus and prioritize your questions. And so today, hi there, Roshana Reed. Hi there, it's nice to see you. And greetings from Jamaica, yes, my home country. Mike, Chicago, USA. How long does the I601a waiver take to approve? So it can go from anywhere from 6 months to a year and a half. I've seen as long as 2 years, but the average is about a year and a half. Tabata01, I abandoned my green card. Can I get it back? So when you said abandoned your green card, that's implying that you've already abandoned it, basically made that known. So it depends on what the circumstances are. So for example, if you left the country without the intention of abandoning it or leaving it behind, you ended up staying outside of the country, and then you, after whatever led you to stay outside of the country passes, and you would like to come back, or if at some point you would like to come back, there's what's called an SB1, returning resident immigrant visa. And basically you have to show, though, that you didn't intend to abandon your card, that you didn't intentionally give up your permanent residence, that circumstances beyond your control led you to stay outside of the country for more than a year. And then you have to show your ties to the U.S., and if you successfully complete that, then you can come back to the United States and then just finish out the immigrant visa process here. So schedule a consultation if you'd like to talk more about that. MS Solas, how's Jamaica? Hi there. And Roshan Reed, it's Jamaica is too hot, too sunny. Yep, I totally get it when it comes to the summer. Especially most houses don't have AC. And so with the concrete houses and the heat, it can definitely get really hot. Tabata, you're welcome. So keep those questions coming, because that's why I'm here. I'm here to answer your immigration questions. I always do this. I do this every day with few exceptions. And so today is no different. I'm here to close out the day with you and answer your questions. I'll be here tomorrow to answer your questions around the same time. So I usually come with a topic to talk about, and today I'm going to be talking about how to apply for the green card if you've overstayed or if you entered without permission. And so I'm going to cover that topic until I get your questions, because it's really just about you and your questions. So Tabata01, how old do your children have to be to apply for you? So they have to be US citizens and they have to be 21 and up. Nasir, do you need a permission to go out of US with a permanent residence? No. So once you have permanent residence, and it's good, your status is good, you can leave the United States, but make sure that your status is good, that you have your permanent resident card to travel outside of the United States, or an I-551 stamp in your passport, a valid I-551 stamp. Jenna Wegner, too. My husband has had his green card for over 3 years, obtained through marriage and I-601. Awesome. So you see, this is an example of how the process can be successful to get the permanent residence through the waiver process. And I talk about that a lot in my very short videos. What if you get married and have a 2-year conditional green card and the marriage didn't work out? Great question. This is also a focus of my practice area. You can still apply, and you can apply based on a divorce. You'd have to show that you entered the marriage in good faith, even though it didn't work out, and you'd have to show a final divorce decree. If you are in the middle of a divorce and you apply, then what they'll do is they will send a request for evidence to get the divorce decree, and they'll give you a little more time to provide it. Then you can also apply based on mistreatment or extreme cruelty or your extreme hardship if you must leave the country. So Camille Bartholom. Hi there. Thanks for sharing the live. Ms. Solas, can you say a little about Jamaica and its people? So Ms. Solas, I grew up in Jamaica, and it's what can I say? It's an amazing country with amazing people. Our motto is out of many, one people, and that's because we have such diversity. So a majority of the country are Black, but we also have other ethnicities that make up one people, and those would be Indians, we have Chinese, we have white Jamaicans as well. So it's a very diverse country, and it's tropical. Tourism is the major industry, but keep in mind that Jamaicans are known for their achievements worldwide because we're such ambitious, hardworking people. So that's a little about us as Jamaicans. And if anybody else here has something to add, go ahead and tell Ms. Solas about Jamaica. Jenna Wegner, too. He will be applying for citizenship. Do you recommend an attorney for this as well? So Jenna Wegner, you'll never hear me say don't get an attorney, especially if you're asking this question. If you're asking this question, then the first step you need to take is a consultation. And in that consultation, for example, in my consultations, we go through all the circumstances surrounding first of all, the I-601, what led up to it, and then determine, and then based on my advice, and recommendations, you can determine what you want to do. So schedule a consultation. You can call the office. You can go to the link in my bio where you'll see my number. You can go to the videos where you'll see my number. And the number I'll say here is 561-405-4889. So PJ Ebanks, how hard is it to show evidence? So it depends on what type of evidence we're talking about. So PJ, okay, so we're going back to the 2 years. So it depends on what the circumstances are. It depends on what evidence you have. So I sit down with my clients and I go through what their circumstances are, and we brainstorm about what the best evidence is. In this case, it's believable evidence that's going to be acceptable. And so that could be text messages. That could be, if you're doing a good faith marriage, that, the same kind of evidence you have to show when you are getting the green card, but you have to show it now, show that evidence after the date that you got the green card to show that your marriage continued in good faith. So Trisha Lex, good evening. Kabulov, 99, what happens if you don't include your child from ex-wife in a green card lottery? So it's really up to you whether you want to include your child or not. And so if you don't include your child, you'd have to apply for them in the future, which, can be a little harder. So you have to really think hard about whether you want to add your child to make sure that they come along with you, so you don't have to do it later or not. So it's up to you. So Nels 87, my husband is interested in working in the US. He's certified in heavy equipment and truck driving. So Nels 87, the first thing you'll need to do is to search for an employer. That's usually the first step, to be able to figure out what kind of employment-based visa that your spouse, your husband, can qualify for. Now, if your husband is a citizen of an E2 country, that's a country that has a treaty with the US to allow the citizens of that country to come and start a business or expand a business. That's another way to obtain a visa to come and live and work here, but by running that business. So it all depends on what your husband qualifies for, what his goals would be. Sam Ches 93, I'm preparing to send the application for my wife to get condition removed. What type of affidavit to use? So when it comes on to the intricacies of the documents, I don't get into that because I don't want you to get the wrong idea. I prepare the documents for my clients, but I don't sit down and instruct people on how to construct those affidavits on their own. See Charlie, can you represent us during our interview via call? Thank you for all what you do. I can definitely do that. The first thing we have to do is schedule a consultation for me to go through your circumstances and figure out what's going on. And then from there on, we can arrange to confirm representation. So see Charlie, go ahead and schedule a consultation, and I can definitely talk to you more about making that appearance. Harper Ramsey 340, my nephew married U.S. citizen but was very much abused. He has to run back to family. So Harper Ramsey 340, tell your nephew to call me, schedule a consultation right away, because if he was abused, then he can qualify to apply for what's called the VAWA Greencard, especially if he's here in the United States and he resided with that U.S. citizen spouse who abused him. So this is one of the focuses of my practice in the firm. And so give me a call, schedule a consultation, tell your nephew to do that ASAP, because he can apply on his own without this U.S. citizen spouse. So Silver Rich, can you speak proper English? I don't understand a word you're saying. Oh, wow. Well, it seems like something is wrong with you, because I'm speaking quite proper. Nasir Mewada, thank you so much. But how to check my status? So you will need to go to USCIS, and then you can, once you go to USCIS, you can check your status there if you have your receipt number. If you can also call the number. Trisha Lex, that's true. So Mac Tweety, can I apply for my goddaughter who has a visitor's visa and I don't work? I'm on SSDI and she is 20. So unfortunately, mothers can't apply for their godchildren to get there. So Christy Ramirez, 88. My husband was brought here when he was 6. He's now 31. Is there an affordable way to get him legal? So, as for the affordable way, I can't speak to that because I do know that the process can be expensive. I don't know what your financial constraints are, but he definitely could have options. You just need to explore those options. Camille Bartholomew. I see. That makes sense. Jenna Wegner, you're welcome. So keep those questions coming. These are all great questions, and that's why I am here, is to answer your immigration questions. So MS Solas, how much does it to invest in Jamaica to be able to move there. So I'm Miss Solas. I'm a U.S. immigration attorney. That's me. That means I'm an American attorney. So I don't practice Jamaican immigration law, and you'd have to find a Jamaican attorney who can advise you on the best way to invest in Jamaica and be able to live there. King.pin 92. I was traveling to America. I was refused entry in Atlanta. My visa revoked for 5 years. I'm sorry to hear that. And let me see. It seems like you're continuing because so I didn't get the rest of the question. But if it was revoked and you were turned around at the border, if you would like to figure out a solution, definitely get in touch with me and schedule a consult, and then we can talk more about that. Marlene Davis 246. My friend overstayed on his visa. He is in his 30s. His mother is a citizen. Can she still file for him? So there is a way, yes. If she files for him as a U.S. citizen, if he's not married, then she can file. It would be a 6 to 7 year process right now unless something changes. But what will happen is he would not qualify or is not likely to qualify for adjustment of status, meaning apply to stay in the United States. He would have to apply for a waiver, and if the waiver is approved, it would give him permission to leave the country to attend the interview and get the green card there without facing that 3 or 10 year bar. So if he and his mom really want to move forward with the process, they should schedule a consultation, and then we can talk about that. PJE Banks, you're welcome. Trisha Lex, Jamaica is one of the best countries in the Caribbean. Miss Solas, my in-law began processing a green card for us, but his marriage crashed and it couldn't be continued. So my in-law began processing a green card for us. So usually in-laws can't file for, son-in-laws or daughter-in-laws. So that would be maybe where the problem was. But Ms. Solas, if you would like to get further assistance, schedule a consult and let's talk more. Kabulov 99, because I didn't include my daughter from my last marriage. Now keep in mind though, when you say include, is it to include your daughter to get a green card? If you did not disclose your daughter, that could be a problem, because then they could misconstrue it as misrepresentation if you don't disclose that you had another daughter. So there's a difference there. So if you mean you didn't bring your daughter along or you didn't put her in the application to get the green card, that's one thing. But if the application is asking you to disclose all your children, you would need to do that. And so what I urge you to do is definitely inform them of that now, if you haven't already. Kingpin 92, how do I set a consultation? I live in Jamaica. So great question. I represent clients all over the country and globally. And so I have a system in place to be able to collaborate with my clients and also to do that initial consultation by video, mostly video. So we would schedule a consultation. Once you have confirmed the consultation, we send you the link to a Zoom or a GoToMeetings where we can meet by video. I'm Kabulov 99. I have a family and 3 kids. Won a green card lottery, being told by lawyers I'll be declined. So if you're being told by lawyers that you'll be declined, there's something going on in your background. For example, if you're already in the United States undocumented, that may be the issue here. But where the lawyers they know your circumstances, I don't. And so for me to be able to provide a second opinion or a third opinion or a fourth opinion, you'll need to schedule a consultation. But usually if the lawyers are telling you that, there's something in your background that's going to prevent you from qualifying. Is Trinidad and Tobago qualify for the U.S. treaty? Absolutely. That is one of the countries that qualify. So if you are a citizen of that country and you'd like to expand a business or start a business in the US, that's an option. Now, to be able to qualify, you'll have to show that you have that substantial investment you have made, or you're in the process of making a substantial investment. Now, keep in mind, a substantial investment does not mean that you have to have millions of dollars. It just means that you, for the type of business that you have, because they don't limit the business, but for the type of business that you have to show that you have the funds to back that up. So, schedule a consultation and let's talk through it to confirm whether you qualify, if it's the right time, or how to prepare to apply for this type of visa. Christy Ramirez, 88, what kind of options do we have? So, I got so many questions that I don't remember. Okay. So, Christy, it really depends. So it depends on the circumstances, but the best case scenario here is your spouse can apply for what's called an I601 waiver, but it depends. They still have to meet certain requirements, like, there's nothing disqualifying in his background, like a criminal record. He would have to also, unlawful presence would have to be the only immigration violation. But if he does qualify for this type of waiver, then what would happen is he could stay in the US, apply for this waiver, and then if it's approved, he can leave and complete the green card process. But of course, keep in mind, he also has to qualify through family. He has to have a US citizen or green card holder spouse or parent who will experience extreme hardships if he doesn't get the green card. So this type of waiver is a lot of work, and this is what I do for my clients. If you really would like the help and you would want to put in the time and the costs involved, definitely it could be worth it, but we'd have to evaluate whether he qualifies. This could be an option, but now we need to look at his background to determine whether he qualifies. Maxi 16, what kind of documents do we need for adjustment of status based on marriage? So I don't get into particular forms just because I don't know your circumstances. And the last thing I want you to do is go and print forms or complete forms that don't apply, especially when I don't know what your situation is. So go ahead, schedule a consultation if you'd like assistance to prepare those documents and representation throughout the process. But generally speaking, when you submit the application for adjustment of status, you have to make sure that you qualify. And only people who either are maintaining legal status or who are the immediate relatives of U.S. citizens, spouses, parent, or the son or daughter 21 and up of a U.S. citizen qualified to stay in the United States and apply for adjustment of status, even if they've been out of status. So they overstayed. If you came into the country without permission, then that would be another process as well. And then you'd have to also attach the required evidence, which the main part is evidence of the marriage, and then identifying documents and so forth. Bossy Cookie, thank you for that. I really appreciate you coming on to say that. Curti Sharon, my friend had a divorce before the 5 years and he has a felony in his record a year ago. So in a case like that, he'll definitely need to schedule a consultation. I can't stress enough that when it comes on to criminal issues, it's very different from case to case. And it really, my advice is going to differ based on the circumstances involved. So, the facts are very important. The statute, so the law itself under which they were, under which he was convicted is crucial as well. His sentence is also very important to determine whether he will lose his green card or he's at risk for losing his green card, whether he can apply for citizenship or what the advice is. So it all depends. He needs to definitely consult an attorney. Now it's 87. You're welcome. Trinidad, I live Trinidad and Tobago and would love to come to the US, how I go about it. So it depends on how you're coming and what you're coming to do. So if you're coming to, are you coming to start a business? Do you want to come to work? Do you want to come to visit? Are you coming? Do you want to join family here? It all depends. Trinidad. EI. Rita Persad, how long does it take for my mom, who is a green card holder, to file for me? I'm 30 years and unmarried. So it's taking about 5 to 6 years now for a green card holder to apply for their sons or daughters who are 21 and over. Keep in mind that if you're already in the United States, then there are also additional steps that you have to take, like the I601a waiver. And in order to qualify for that, you'll have to have a U.S. citizen or green card holder spouse or parent who will experience extreme hardships without you. So, it's a type of waiver process that takes a lot of work, preparation, legal know-how. So start with a consultation to understand it if you are in the U.S. and you can't leave to finish the green card process. If you're already in your country, then you wouldn't need this waiver. You just need to wait it out for those 5 to 6 years. So Miss Solas, he is my husband's brother. Okay, so I understand. So if he's your husband's brother and then his parents try to apply for him, then yes. So that explains where the in-laws come in. But I would really have to know what happened to make everything just crash and burn. I'm sorry to hear that. And if you do need help or he does need help, share my phone number, share my information, send them a video and see if they'd like to pursue more options. Melly 960, what public benefits a green card holder cannot receive from the government if they had a co-sponsor? So, usually what happens is the state will dictate who qualifies for benefits. So unless you obtain benefits through fraud, you, as a green card holder, you probably won't be able to qualify for the type of benefits that the government don't want you to get. For example, I know in Florida here, you have to be a permanent resident for 5 years to be able to even show that you have that you can, to even show to even get the benefit. So for example, food assistance or cash assistance. So it's very strict to begin with, and by the point that it's been 5 years and you are receiving public benefits, it's time to apply for U.S. citizenship, and they don't usually check you to see if you've been a public charge at the time that you are applying for citizenship, unless of course you obtain public benefits through fraud. Then that can be a big problem. Now there is emergency Medicaid that is a huge exception here. They don't hold that against you because they understand in emergencies you need to get coverage, and so it's usually an exception. But that is basically the summary of public benefits and your immigration status. Sexy Tommy 1, no good news. I actually, Sexy Tommy, now that you bring this up, this doesn't have anything to do with Jamaica, but Haitian citizens who are currently in the United States as of May 21st, 2021 can apply for temporary protected status in the United States. So what they'll have to show is that they've been continuously residing in the United States as of the date of the designation, which would be May 21st, 2021, and that they don't have any other disqualifying issues like a criminal record or anything such thing. Now, even if you're out of status, you can still apply for this. So keep that in mind and spread the word if you know any Haitian citizens, especially if they're here and they are out of status. So Sexy Tommy, I don't have any good news for you, but I'm still keeping an eye out. And please continue to tune in, and eventually, hopefully, I'll have something for you. Ashsin Jamil, my marriage interview successfully completed 13 November 2020, but I still wait for any update. So unfortunately, I've been noticing that this has been a pattern. And where I notice it's a pattern is where the evidence may have been lacking in the application and they're doing an additional review. So if you need further assistance, get legal advice, and you can also call them, the USCIS, directly to check up on your status. C. Charlie, would the interview process be different questions for LGBTQ couples than straight couples? Not necessarily. So they're not going to, and I think that would be unfair and discriminatory. But other than to use different pronouns, it would not be any different than a normal application. So one thing though is that what they may look out for is if they may feel like it's you only enter the marriage for the green card. So that is what you should be focusing on, making sure that you show that you know each other, that you have built a relationship, that this is a genuine marriage. So Marlene Davis, you're welcome. Miss Solas, because he's not yet a citizen but a green card holder. Okay. So keep those questions coming. I am here to answer your questions. That's the sole reason I'm here, is to focus on your questions. I see more questions, so let's go through those. So let's see. All right, so Mika, thanks for the follow. June, thanks for the follow. Cheryl, thanks for the follow. Cheryl, I'm a student at a college. I need a visitor visa. Are the applications open? I'm from Jamaica. So you can always check the embassy's website, the U.S. Embassy in Jamaica's website. It differs, unfortunately, because of the COVID situation and different situations in different countries with lockdowns and curfews. It's going to be different from country to country, so check on the website to see if they're currently accepting non-immigrant visas. So Cal Bones, what about the E2? So if you're the citizen of an E2 country, in a video about a week or two ago, I did put the whole list of the E2 countries. So you may have to scroll down to find that video. But if you're the citizen of an E2 country, it would allow you to be able to open a business or expand your business in the United States, as long as you can show that you have the sufficient capital to do that you have invested or currently are investing in that business. And so it's one way that you can get a visa for you, your family, to live and work as in run your business in the United States. Mana 3, is it still taking long for processing I-130 by a U.S. citizen for an adult child? So right now it's taking about 6 to 7 years. So it is taking quite a while. I wish to come in the U.S. to be your house assistant. Okay. Well, I'm not taking any house assistants. Mika, the alien chick, how can a South African get a U.S. citizenship? So first you'd have to obtain permanent residence, and then once you become a permanent resident, you'd have to wait a certain amount of time to get U.S. citizenship. Jason Tyson 59, can I apply for my U.S. visa now in Jamaica, or are they on pause? So same thing, check the website to get updates on whether they're accepting visitor visa applications. Mika, the alien chick, how long does it take to get a green card without getting married? So it depends on whether if you're not getting married, it's going to be through either a U.S. citizen or a green card holder parent, or it's going to be through an employer. And so it differs just based on who you're applying through. Ruby 1110, I need a working visa in Canada to work in Canada. So I'm a U.S. immigration attorney. I'm not Canadian. So you'll have to contact a Canadian immigration attorney. F1 need to change. So yes, there are ways to change from F1 to another status. but it all depends on what your situation is. What else do you qualify for? What status do you want to change over to? So Nika, if you need, I can help you with this, but you will need to schedule a consultation. Rita Persad, you're welcome. It's Ray B. How do I go about getting a work permit to work in the USA from Jamaica? So with work permits, you have to be able to have some sort of other immigration benefit that you're applying for. So you're either applying through a family member or even an employer to become a permanent resident. But you may be able to get an employment-based visa, temporary, but you'd have to look for an employer who's willing to do that for you. So Musaim, married. The person went to the US, COVID-19, meet him there. What can we do? Definitely schedule a consultation and we can talk more about that. Cal Bones, how can I apply for the E2 visa? So you would have to apply through the embassy if you're in the country. If you're here in the US and you'd like to change from one status to the next, then you could do that. But keep in mind, a status is different from a visa. So once you travel out of the US, you'd need a visa to come back in. But you have to show that you're the citizen of an E2 country, and that the most important requirement here is to show that you have a substantial investment that you're currently making or that you have made in the business. And that substantial investment doesn't have to be millions of dollars, but you have to show that it's enough money to run a successful business. So Liliat, are we able to apply for the green card? Criminal records, have been paying taxes. So you'd have to qualify, Liliat, through a family member or through an employer. Our people who have an asylum case pending, have been working for over 5 years, doesn't have criminal records. So there's nothing yet that allows people who have been here without status to get their green card just by paying taxes. It's not that. While something similar to that has been proposed before Congress, they have not taken it up, and so it's not law. Trinidad EI, thanks for the follow. And Lilia, what about an asylum case pending? So it really depends on what the situation is with your case, where it's pending, what are your chances, and so forth. Rome Williams 80, how long can you stay in the USA for when visiting? So it depends on how long the officer gives you. So the officer at the airport, they will stamp a time in your passport, and you will also be on your I-94. So you want to pay attention to that and make sure you stay within that time. Roberta Billions, what's the cost to get a tax ID number and how to get it? So it depends on the agent that's helping you to get it. You'll have to speak to them about their fees. I'm here as an au pair, but I want to stay longer and get a job. How do I do that? So Mika, the alien chick, it depends on what else you qualify for and what type of visa. So usually the au pair is J1, and we'd want to look at the constraint of the J1 visa in your case and whether you qualify to stay in another way. So Robin Scott 42, I'm applying for my Jamaican husband's daughter who's 24 with 3 children. What is the best route? So if you are a US citizen and your daughter is 24, your stepdaughter, first of all, she would have to qualify to be your stepchild for you to be able to apply for her. And for her to qualify as your stepchild, she would need to have been under 18 at the time you got married to your husband. If that's not the case, you will not be able to apply for her as a stepchild. She wouldn't qualify. But your spouse, if he is a green card holder, he can apply for her as long as she's unmarried. So it all depends here. While I can't give you specific legal advice as to what the best route is, because I don't know your full circumstances, I'm giving you this general information. It's up to you to definitely follow up and get a legal consultation about what the options are here. You can call 561-405-4889, schedule a consultation. I think that's Black Chino Rebel. Sorry, I'm late, but what's the process for businesses to set up in the US? So if you would like to get an E2 visa, then what you would need to do is you would have to show that you're the citizen of an E2 country. And the E2 country would be countries like Jamaica, Trinidad, Grenada, Panama, Costa Rica, Bolivia, Mexico, Argentina. These are just examples. There are countries all over the world that do qualify as E2, but I'm listing the ones that are in the immediate area: Caribbean, South America, and Central America. Also, Canada and England qualify for this as well. And then what you'd have to show is that you have made or you're currently making a substantial investment in the business, and that you can successfully run this business with the capital that you have invested. So Roberta Billions, no new immigration laws. Shelley's 28. Great, you have a question? Go ahead, drop that question now. Can F1 students from Haiti apply for the TPS? So absolutely, yes, they can. You can apply for TPS. Give me a call, schedule a consultation, June, and let's talk more about it. Mika, the alien chick, hi, how can a South African get a United States citizenship? So you first have to get the permanent residence, and you'd have to qualify through an employer or through a family member to be able to do that. Nika, if you need to leave from F1 to a permanent resident, you'd have to apply through, you'd have to qualify for another category first. So that's definitely going to take a consultation to determine how you qualify for permanent residence. So Patman7392, my brother was deported 16 years ago and he completed a 10-year ban. Can he apply for the waiver? So while these are complicated issues, we definitely have to go through a consultation to see because part of it is you need to qualify for the waiver. And so what were the circumstances behind the deportation? And then I can advise as to what waiver he would qualify for. So if your brother would like to return to the United States, let him schedule a consultation with me and we can talk more about that. Blossom, grade 408, my daughter turned 18. We are now still waiting on interview in Jamaica. She was 16 when my husband applied for her. So if your husband is a U.S. citizen and he applied for her and she's under 21, she would still qualify. So she wouldn't age out. My son is 40. I'm U.S. citizen. Can I apply for him? Yes, you can. But it's lengthy. So it could be, if he's unmarried, 6 to 7 years. If he's married, about a 12-year process. Rome Williams, 80. Can a green card holder apply for a brother or sister to come to the States? Unfortunately not. 876, you'd have to become a citizen first. 876 Aquamarine, thanks for sharing the live. Robin Scott, 42, you're welcome. Marty, 528, my son is 40, so I answered that. Mika, the alien chick. Thank you. Is there a way I can extend the J1 visa? So it all depends. I wouldn't be able to tell you until I know what's going on with your situation. Some J1 visas do allow for a little extension, some don't, but I need to figure out what's going on with your case before. Black Chino Rebel, how I can apply for an E2. So it's similar to applying for a visitor's visa. So you'd have to apply for a non-immigrant visa and then show all the evidence. And you would apply at the embassy. Trini 1994, hi there. So what to do? Can I send my consultation fee through MoneyGram? So we accept through Zelle, PayPal, and through credit card payments. And right now we don't accept through MoneyGram. But what you can do is give us a call, talk to the scheduling assistant, and then we can see if there is a way to help you if you're outside of the country and none of those payment options work. Mika, the alien chick, how do I apply for permanent residence? Is there a website? So if you go to uscis.gov, so uscis.gov, that will definitely be give you a lot of information. Kissy Martinez, hi there. It's good to see you. And I did mean to reply to you. Good luck on your studies in law school. And I'm glad that you took the time to tune in. AKC363, I called the last time, but my problem is I didn't have a bank account or Visa card in Trinidad. Okay, so I think, are you the same one with MoneyGram? Well, in that case, we only have certain ways to accept payment. And if that is the case, then let's talk about, so we do Zelle and PayPal. I don't know if those are also options for you. Prem, Dallas, Texas. I got my green card through marriage for 10 years, but now we divorced. Can I still apply for citizenship after 5? Yes, you can. There's nothing saying that, there's nothing holding you to the marriage. Now keep in mind that if you want to make sure that if you have any doubts at all, if you have any issues, had any issues getting the permanent residence through the marriage to begin with, and then you get legal advice first. But generally speaking, if you got your 10-year green card and you're now divorced, nothing should stop you from getting your citizenship after 5 years. Rome Williams, you're welcome. I want to apply for my U.S. citizenship. What is the process of applying? So first, you would have to make sure you qualify. Are you over 18? Have you had your permanent residence for at least 5 years? Or if you married a U.S. citizen and stayed with the U.S. citizen for the 3 years and had the green card for 3 years, then you could apply then as well. Do you have continuous residence in the United States, continuous physical presence in the United States for the past 5 years, and good moral character? So those are, in a nutshell, the summary of requirements. And if you have any doubts at all, then schedule a consultation. Mika the Alien Chick, you're welcome. Sweet Shaven 2, how long it takes for approval of I-130 for kids outside of the States? So I'd say prepare for an average of an 18-month process. How can I apply for nursing school in the U.S.? I'm not a permanent resident, just a B1, B2. You have to apply to the school, and once you speak with the international student advisor, and they'll be able to walk you through the process. Thank you everyone for coming and asking such great questions. I am heading out for this Sunday, but I'll be back tomorrow to close out the day with you. Some days I do come on even twice a day. So if you would like to ask your question and I didn't get to your question today, go ahead, hang on to your questions, follow me, and as soon as you see me go live, hop on with me, ask your questions right away so I can answer those as soon as I see them. Have a great Sunday, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.